Hi guys, I'm back. I want you to meet Ferguson Scott 72. Simple as nature. Well, he's not wrong about that. Service to humanity, belief, and values. Very interesting little stolen profile of a gentleman who is going by one of his photos, is a some sort of construction or works in something like that. So he decided to message me, and I thought, what happens if I tell a scammer I'm a policeman? If you can hear some football in the background, excuse me, it's football season started. So, last night, hej Julia, kiva profilikuva simesta söpöllä kasvoilla. Yeah, it's in Finnish basically. It's I've seen your profile, you're really beautiful. My Finnish is a little bit rusty here. I said, please don't write in Finnish. I've forgotten most of it, and you can't see my profile as it's locked. And then I realised it actually wasn't locked. This was one of my other fake ones. Sorry about that. Thought you understand Finnish. I said, yes, I understand it, but my writing is poor. It's been over 20 years. Why isn't your name Finnish? You aren't in Finland, not from your photos. And in response to, yes, I understand it, but my writing is poor, he goes, is fine. And in response to being over 20 years, he says, oh my goodness, it's been a long time, said my fake American. And in response to why isn't your name Finnish, he goes, yeah, I'm not from Finland, Finnish flag. Where are you from, my dear? First hint that he's a scammer is my dear. And in response to, yeah, I'm not from Finland, I said, so why would you write in Finnish when my profile is in English? Why would you jump to Finnish with Google Translate? That's really sketchy. And in response to where I am from, I said, I am from Finland, but I'm not living there. I'm living in Australia, which you would have known if you knew to approach me in Finnish. Right? So his response to why would he write in Finnish was, yeah, Google Translate, which just shows to the lengths that they actually go to. All right, they will use Google Translate. And if I'd actually continued to write in Finnish, he would have continued to do it. All right. I said, that's mental. Why would you do that? Right. And in response to, I'm from Finland, but I'm not living there. Why did you left Finland? Finnish flag. I said, because I did. That's all. Why did you write to me in Finnish when my profile intro is in English? Most of your pictures location said Finland. And besides, you were able to understand. I said, most of my pictures are not in fact Finland, and yes, I am Finnish, but most of my pics are not. Is a crime to write you in Finnish language? Said my immediately triggered scammer. I said, no, it's just strange to go straight to Finnish when my profile is in English and you're not Finnish. Even you must see that. If I'd replied in Finnish, what would you have done? Continue to use Google Translate. It's fine. Don't get me wrong, it was because I saw Finnish locations, said my idiot scammer, who, yes, there's a couple of photos of Finland on my profile, but it was just things like hashtag homesick and just nonsense. I said, yes, I visited last year when I went back home to see family. And in response to if I'd replied in Finnish, what would you have done? Continue with Google Translate. He said, maybe, can't really tell. And he wouldn't have because Finnish is absurdly difficult. And in response to, yes, I visited last year, went back home to see family, he was, all right, that sounds great. So your family still lives in Finland? Digging for information. Do you stay alone in Australia? I said, I have some family over there, yes, and friends. And no, I have my sister here as well. Deliberately misunderstanding the question because I didn't want to tell him if I was married or not. All right, he says. It is just your parents alone in Finland and friends. I don't know where he got that from. And, all right, are you married? Because I wasn't direct in my response. I said, never said parents, but okay. And in response to being married, I said, no, not yet. There's time. And in response to never said parents, but okay, he responded with, is okay? Thumbs up. This one was just an absolute wordsmith, guys. I said, where are you? Am from USA, said no American ever. I said, where from? Your sister, she's your senior. And where from? Michigan State. I said, my senior? Do you mean is she older or younger? And Americans tell me this Michigan State, this is like a football thing, right? Like no American would say I'm from Michigan State, right? They'd say like I'm from Michigan or I'm from, insert town, right? Michigan State's got to have to be something to do with football, I'm assuming. So I said, my senior, do you mean is she older or younger? He goes, where in Australia are you located? I said, New South Wales. And older or younger, he asks. I said, she's younger. All right. Meanwhile, hope you don't mind if we can get to know more about each other. Very well, if you don't mind. I said, let's see. Anything's possible, I guess. All right. Thanks for your time and reply. How old are you now? I said, I'm 40, and you? Am 45 in a few months. When is your birthday coming up? I said, later this year, August. All right. What do you do for a living in Australia? Said my scammer, who was frantically taking notes because he will then use my profile to scam someone else and all my details, or just become incredibly attentive so I fall in love with him. I said, I'm in the police force. I'm a constable in the forensics division. What about you? Wow, I love heart your job. And am a driver. Sorry for late response. I went to get some food because he'd gone away for a while. I think it had low-key freaked him out a little bit. And in response to am a driver, I said, as in taxi, Uber, limo. And he sends me this strange little photo that was completely unrelated to anything of him eating a sandwich with, take note of all the medications in the back because we will get to that, right? I said, okay, nice. Uber dear, he said. And in response to, wow, I love your job, I said, I love it too. What is your time now? He asks, having run out of things to say. And in response to Uber dear, I said, cool, I have friends who drive Uber. And it is 9 a.m, Saturday. It'll be hot today. And in response to cool, I have friends who drive Uber, he says, all right. This one was so boring, guys. Zero conversational skills. I said, it's my day off. What are all the pills in the background in the photo? And who is Angela Mitchell? And that's because if you zoom into the photo, the pill packet said Angela Mitchell, and it was a prescription for like Lipitor or some sort of a heart medication, right? And in response to it'll be hot today, he very profoundly went, really? Because he had nothing to say. Angela, from where? And is my day off? He goes, you don't go to work today? Shock horror that I'm not working on my day off. I said, the pill packet's in the photo. And that's what day off means. So I showed him where I'd said, what are the pills in the background of the photo? Which of the picture is that? He said, having completely forgotten he'd sent me a nonsensical photo of a sandwich because he was popping in and out. He had several clients on the go. So I showed him the photo. I said, this one. Did you miss the details when you sent it? I'm a cop. I miss nothing, LOL. I'm trained in details. To which he said, oh, now I understand. I was at my friend's house when I get it, and it is not long I left his house. He is married already, said no natural American ever. And in response to, I'm trained in details, he says, as a cop. I said, yep, in forensics, like I told you earlier. I know what that drug is for. Do you? Who does it belong to? And in response to, like I told you earlier, he said, yes, I can see that, dear. He was so patronizing until I busted him. And in response to, I know what that drug is for. Do you? Who does it belong to? He says, my friend's wife, very quickly. I said, sure. Tell her she has heart issues, LOL. I don't know for her. Maybe I will relate, said my scammer. I said, she has enough pharmaceuticals there. So which Reuben's Deli did you visit? The one in Montreal? Did you like it? Because there was a photo of him at a Reuben's delicatessen. I love a Reuben sandwich, right? But my scammer obviously had no idea. I said, you're also in a company car, a cabinetry van in one photo. Do you do that as well as Uber? I'm fascinated because I wanted to see how this guy could think on his feet. Right? And in response to she has enough pharmaceuticals, which Reuben's did you go to? Was it the one in Montreal? No, I did not, he said very quickly. I said, ah, which one? I love a good Reuben. And in response to, you're also in a company car, a cabinetry van. Yes, but always based on contracts, said my scammer. That good old standby. They're either contractors, but though I'll admit I never had an Uber driver before. I said, so you drive Uber when you don't have work. That's good, better than sitting on welfare. Now, he'd very clearly manoeuvred through all the questions he didn't understand, like what's a Reuben and where all the photos were taken. And in response to I'm fascinated, he goes, to what, my dear? Having been off the profile and then coming back. So he'd completely lost track of the conversation. And to which one I love a good Reuben, his response was a very profound really, because he wasn't interested. I said, yes, really, it's a great sandwich. And it's fascinating to learn about people, getting to know them. So in response to, so you drive an Uber when you don't have work, he goes, yes, my dear, I don't like being idle in my life. How long have you been in the police? Because he just wants me to talk about me so he can pop off and scam other people. I said, I can't stand people who are lazy, and I've been in the police over 10 years in many areas. I just moved from cybercrime to forensics. Cybercrime got boring. And in response to I can't stand people who are lazy, my scammer said, that is not part of me. I said, I want to get into homicide. I want my shield. And in response to me being in the police for 10 years and having moved from cybercrime, he goes, why did you leave cybercrime? I said, it got boring. It's crypto scams and scammers. Because of what? No activities? He asked. And in response to I want my shield, he goes, okay, said my scammer, who had no idea what I was talking about. I said, no, I just didn't like sitting behind a desk. And in response to crypto scams and scammers, he goes, did you get scammed? Because he hadn't paid any attention to the conversation up to this point. And in response to I didn't like sitting behind a desk, I said, he goes, all right, I understand. Not understanding at all. So my response to did you get scammed? I said, laughing emoji, I'm a cop. No, never been scammed. They are too stupid. Good, he said. They don't know you well, was his response to all scammers being stupid. And he has some right in that. Obviously, they try to probe for any kind of weaknesses and openings so they can get in there and find another avenue to scam. And trust me, guys, this scammer gets a little bit more interesting as he tries to figure out a way to slip in and scam me. I said, no, they are just too stupid, especially with the technology available today. It's too easy to catch them. I found it tedious and without challenge. You are right, said my scammer of many words. I said, yes, I know I am. And in response to me finding it tedious and without challenge, he goes, a lot of stress on it. I said, it's like linguistics. You can tell where someone is from just by the way they write. And in response to, yes, I know I am right, he goes, what about your sister? Gathering a lot of information, so I knuckled down and started to lie. I said, what about her? And in response to it's like linguistics, you can tell where someone is from just by the way they write, my idiot Nigerian goes, true. And what about her? He goes, you guys work together? I said, no, she's a professor of linguistics and history. I just like action. Tell me some funny stories as an Uber driver. I did history, he said, in my days at the university. And so you can fight? He asks. And meeting different types of humans, the crazy one and the funny laughing emoji. Some days it gets wired and choked, which I'm assuming is some sort of pidgin or West African lingo. I don't know if it's some sort of modern day. You young ones in the comments tell me if wired and choked is actually a thing. So in response to so you can fight, I said, oh yes, very well. And in respond to some days it gets wired and choked, I said, I can imagine. I've seen the YouTube videos of crazy people and I've arrested a few. And in response to I did history in my days at the university, I said, what type of history? I did a degree in 16th century English history and literature, some archaeology, but not for long. I dropped out to join the New South Wales police force. And in response to me fighting very well, he goes, maybe one day you will teach me then. And in response to I've seen the YouTube channels and having arrested a few people, he goes, "You must be a worrisome cop." Muppet. And in response to what type of history he did, "Diplomatic history and relations," said my scammer. And in response to my literature and archaeology, he goes, "All right, what is your time now?" he asks. I said, "Are you asking again?" "It's 10 a.m. What's your obsession with time?" And in response to diplomatic history and relations, I said, "Of which country and region? Diplomatic relations, where and who?" And in response to his obsession with time, he goes, "I'm not obsessed. American and Canada." Right? I said, "You asked an hour ago." I said, "So diplomatic relations between America and Canada, are they having issues?" And in response to him asking me the time an hour ago, he goes, "Because over here is 6:50 p.m. To which I said, "Oh, okay." And it's an hour ago, and an hour ago it was an hour earlier. So response to, "So diplomatic relations between America and Canada, are they having issues?" My brilliant genius of a scammer said, "Not over issues." I said, "So what diplomatic relations? Industrial, trade, immigration, resources, finance. Have you been into any relationship?" said my scammer, desperately changing the subject because he completely had no idea what I was talking about and didn't want me asking about it. So I was just riding with it. I said, "I'm over 40, not 10. Of course I've been in relationships, LOL. And you haven't told me if you're married, divorced, have kids, anything. I know you're an Uber driver / builder from Michigan, that's it." And in response to, "I'm 40, not 10, of course I've been in relationships," he says, "What about now?" I said, "None of your business. I live alone." And in response to, "You haven't told me if you're married, divorced, have kids or anything," he says, "I have a daughter and I lost my wife during the pandemic. Big surprise." To which I said, "Oh, well, that's life. Did she die of COVID-related illness?" "She stays with my sister in Ohio," he says, apropos of nothing, because he's used to people going, "Oh, where's your daughter, how old she is?" But I wasn't going to ask because I didn't give a shit. And I don't know why an Uber driver would need to have his daughter in Ohio, but oh well, I didn't want to show interest. And in response to "None of your business," he goes, "Why are you being so rude?" And to "I live alone," 3 cool emojis. I said, "I'm not being rude. I don't know you. I don't spill everything online to strangers. I know cybersecurity, remember?" And in response to "Did she die of COVID-related illness?" he says, "You as me question and I give you direct answer, but when I as you don't answer," said my triggered scammer, because I wasn't going to yield all my personal information immediately and he couldn't find an opening. I said, "I told you I live alone. My romantic relationships are nobody's business. So you like a woman to tell someone all about you. I don't kiss and tell. You might, but I don't. You could have just said you were single. You chose to tell details, mate." And in response to "I'm not, I don't know you," he said, "That is why I want us to know more about each other." Now, this is obviously what he's used to. He's used to a victim going, "Yeah, I'm divorced. I had an abusive ex-husband," which gives him the psychological opening to go in there and subtly start doing a manipulation and abuse as well to get money, right? I just wasn't going to give him that. That really, really bothered him. I said, "Again, you chose to tell me details. You could have just said you were single. That was your choice. I choose not to tell strangers about my romantic relationships." And in response to "I don't spill everything online to strangers," my scammer says, "But am open to you." I said, "That's your choice. I choose mine. It's called free will." And in response to "I told you I live alone, my romantic relationships are nobody's business," he says, "It is part of introducing ourselves and make it easier for more understanding." Very frustrated that I wasn't opening up. And to "I don't kiss and tell, you might, I don't," he says, "Same here too," after having spilt his guts unasked. I said, "No, sharing deeply personal things is not part of initial meeting. I do that with people I've known and spoken with, not people online." And in response to, you could have just said you were single, you chose to tell details, mate, he said, so making sure no more about me is now a crime to you. And if you notice, he's several chats behind. He had to keep scrolling back to try and keep up on where the chat was going. And in response to, again, you chose to tell me the details, you could have just said you were single, he gives me side eye and a smirk. I said, says who? Why so defensive? Why so weird and creepy around making sure knowing more about me is a crime? And in response to, I do that with people I've known and spoken with, he goes, I see now. I said, can't you converse like a normal adult? Can't you converse like a normal adult, I repeated, an educated adult, not like a 13-year-old. And in response to says who, why so defensive, why so weird and creepy, he says, are you antisocial? Because that's what it has to be. I said, I thought we were discussing the diplomatic relations between two countries, but I guess not. And in response to, are you antisocial? I said, no, and I don't like men who gaslight. It's unintelligent and immature. And in response to, can't you converse like a normal adult? He goes, fine, don't get me wrong. And I don't know how you Australians do relate to new people or faces. I said, well, I know how Americans relate, and it isn't like you. I thought we were having an adult chat, but I guess not, I repeated. And in response to, I thought we were discussing diplomatic relations between two countries, he says, you are not even giving it room for us to talk about anything like that too. He goes on the offensive immediately, or defensive. I said, adults don't argue over semantics. And in response to no, and I don't like men who gaslight, my incredulous scammer goes, really? Because ladies, you've got to love abusive men. And in response to, you are not even giving it room for us to talk about anything like that too, I said, maybe it's too early. You don't respect ladies, that much is clear. And in response to, really, I said, no woman does. Why are you surprised? Are you inexperienced with the ladies? Surprised we don't like emotional abuse and manipulation? And he chooses to reply to, I thought we were having an adult chat, but guess not, with, how will you feel when you be open to someone and the person is not responding to your messages as you are being asked? He tries nonsensically. I said, I have no idea what you're going on about. I told you I live alone and you're whining like a teenager. Grow up or go away. And in response to, are you inexperienced with the ladies, he says, I give respect to everyone whom I come in contact with. Said, oh, idiot. I said, you aren't 45, are you? And to giving respect to everyone he comes across, I said, really? With the gaslighting? And in response to surprise, we don't like emotional abuse and manipulation, he goes, did I abuse you? I said, you started to gaslight and emotionally blackmail me. That's immature, juvenile, and not used by 45-year-old men. And in response to me not having any idea what he was going on about, he goes, because I asked you if you into any relationship? I said, you're an unpleasant little thing, aren't you? And I told you it's nobody's business but mine. A real man would have respected that, not thrown a tantrum like a child. And because I was getting sick of this by now, I said, let's cut to the chase, shall we? You know I'm a cop. You know you aren't American or 45. Let's hear the truth now before I dig further. I don't like to wallow in frivolity, came the very profound statement. I said, neither do I, and everything out of your mouth has been lies. You may start again from the beginning if you like. I wanted us to be good friends and have a good conversation, but I'm not sure you understand that, said my very frustrated scammer because I wasn't being cooperative, everyone. I said, oh, sweetie, I understand you perfectly, and while we've been chatting, I've uncovered some things the cybercrimes unit in West Africa might be interested in. Do you want to start again? We can start all over again from the start. To which he says, I'm all ears, my dear, am free and open to you, hoping I would spill some secrets. I said, tell me your name, please, your real name, not this fake one with the stolen photos. Smiles! You don't believe me? Said my incredulous scammer. I said, oh dear, I know you're young and a bit thick, but I can guarantee you that you don't have an American accent. But that's easy to prove, isn't it? I've given you hints all along the chat. Linguistics, remember? To which he again says, smiles. I understand where you are heading to with your words, but I don't know why you don't believe me. I said, well, I'm not about to educate you in all the mistakes you made. I'm not helping you be better at this. Do you really want me to be open to you? He says, gearing up for plan B. I said, this hustling, as you call it, and go on. I know already, except your real name and age. And in response to this hustling, as you call it, he goes, where did you learn all these tricks? Completely astounded that we might actually gather information and learn from talking with scammers. I said, and the age, my guess is about 20. We'd cross-posted. And in response to where did you learn all these tricks, I said, simply, I'm a cop. And in response to I know already, he goes, tell me more. I said, unlike you, I don't lie online for clients. And in response to tell me more, I said, nope. I said, I abhor liars and scammers. Promise me something, he writes very hastily. I said, when I worked in cybercrime, I saw what you did to the victims. And what? To promise me something. He goes, what did I do? Do you know me or have you seen me before? Said my scammer, starting to panic that I was after him and that I'd met him before. I said, I meant scammers in general. The devastating consequences you leave behind in people's lives that you destroy. The horrendous things that happen to innocent, vulnerable people. And in response to my what around making him a promise, I wish we could be more than friends and chat more, okay? WhatsApp if you don't mind, said my deluded and ever hopeful scammer. And in response to I meant scammers and the devastation they leave behind, he sends me a lot of very sad, pathetic emojis and never done that before. I said, I do mind, in response to his a WhatsApp request. I said, what on earth would give you the idea I'd ever share my phone number with a scammer? And in response to never done that before, I said, bullshit. Another lie. Am not, but if you choose to call me that, no problem, he said, getting offended at the word scammer. My intention are for real. I said, you all start really early and don't care what happens to people after you get paid. And in response to my intention are for real, I said, no, your intentions are to get money one way or another. It's disgusting the lies you tell. And in response to bullshit, another lie, he said, you might not believe me. My ex is from Germany. I can show you a picture of together. This is if you want to know. Now, when he said that, it actually triggered something because I thought I've actually spoken to this guy before, but on a different platform, because that one bragged about his German girlfriend and sent some bullshit photos as well. But I pretended I didn't know. I said, why would I care who you dated? That doesn't change what you are. And in response to know your intentions are to get money, he goes, well, can choose what you want to believe, he said. I said, why you're on here with a fake profile and stolen pictures? We must have cross-posted. And in response to, well, can choose what you want to believe, I said, the evidence is clear. Why else lie? And in response to, it's disgusting the lies you tell, he goes, do you really want to see me? Hoping to lay the foundation for a foreign mama type of situation. I said, why would I care? I know you aren't the man in the photos. I know you lied about everything you told me. And in response to the evidence is clear, he says, online? Because that makes it all better. I said, every word out of your mouth was lies, every single word. You're a romance scammer, either via fake profiles or through relationships where you get a foreign mama. And in response to why would I care, he'd lied, he goes, well, you will not understand my story. I wanted to tell you something and give you reasons for everything that happened. But since you don't want me to tell you anything, good and fine, he says, being derailed from his justifications. I said, I know why you do it. Doesn't make it any better and it isn't an excuse. You guys kill people. People have killed themselves after losing everything. The way you are seeing, it is not the way they are, said my scammer now, getting a little bit offended. I said, really? So it's okay that people end up homeless or dead because of scammers? You did history right, said my scammer. I said, yes. And no, slavery is not the reason you do this. You do it because you're too lazy to work. And for clout. I've seen the Facebook posts about the bragging. What did they you about history of from 12th century to 20th century? I don't do Facebook. I said, history spans every nation, and African history is not the reason you scam. You scam for money. Simple. There is no academic reason for it. You choose to scam. And in response to I don't do Facebook, I said, semantics. You are most likely a more experienced scammer who has clients all over the world and is married. To which he says, when you guys came to Africa and took all the treasures and left them with only Bible, your God, you made them believe in your own tradition and left theirs, which is justification for stealing from little old ladies, guys. So there you go, it's all okay now. To which I responded, I did none of those things. You can blame your current government for your financial woes, but I don't owe you shit. None of us do. What you do hurts people. Well, I don't want us to keep arguing over this anymore. Can we just be cool and leave this game? I really want to work with you, I promise. Quintessential word being work with you, because it's an equal trade, right? He sells me his friendship and I support his sorry lazy ass. I said, vulnerable, lonely people. No, you're a liar. I'm never sending you money, ever, not a cent. Did I as you? He said. I said, so you're wasting your time and internet minutes. And in response to did I as you, I said, you would eventually. You are just being unnecessary mean to me, said my scammer with the hurt feelings. I said, you admitted to scamming. You're a scammer. You don't have the moral high ground. A self-confessed scammer with a bullshit justification. And in response to you would scam me eventually, he said, I just want to be a good and faithful person to you. That is, if you give me the room to change and work with you. I said, why would I ever trust you or want to be with someone who lies, scams, and has other clients? You offer nothing tangible or real. You didn't even give your real name or age. You're still lying. To which he says, change, they said, is constant. I promise you I will not do it again. I want to join your military or police. I want to work for you. I know you will find it hard to trust or believe me, but I'm being honest with you here, said my lying through his teeth scammer. And in response to his name, he says, my real name is Brown. And in response to that whole word salad of bullshit, I said the Australian police force would never employ a criminal or someone who isn't a citizen. And in response to my name is Brown, I said, no, it isn't. You're still lying. If you can give me room to tell you more about myself and family, I said, that is not a Nigerian name. And in response to the Australian police wouldn't hire criminals, he goes, okay. And I said, go ahead. Around giving me his explanation because I wanted to hear if there was even a skerrick of ingenuity or difference in the bullshit he was about to lay on me. And in response to still lying, he goes, that is my name, believe me. And into that is not a Nigerian name, he goes, that is my English name. My mum is a Cameroonian. I said, your mother did not name you Brown. I said, and that's better. It's still not the truth. You may be from Cameroon, but that is not your name. She did, he said, in response to his mother naming him Brown. We are 3 in the family, 2 boys and 1 girl. My father died when I was many years ago before we all left Cameroon and came back to Nigerian. And in response to still not the truth, he goes, why are you finding it hard to believe me here? Said my incredulous scammer. And you may be from Cameroon. He goes, no, I'm from Nigerian. His mum is from there. I said, because everything you said up until now has been lies. Now, he kept trying to call me, and I just didn't have the wherewithal to go through another bullshit conversation. I already had one too early this morning, and I know exactly the story he would have said to me. I said, I'm not interested in speaking with you. Might as well stop calling. He kept trying. I said, I do not wish to speak with you on the phone. I'm a cop. I'm not speaking on the phone when you can record it. Not happening. You scammers use photos and videos. To which, and in response to because everything you've said up until now has been lies, he sent me a lot of sad emojis. Can't force you to believe me. Okay, but I'm telling you the truth now. And in response to I'm not interested in speaking with you, why? I know you are angry with me. I said, and what am I meant to do with this information? It won't change my opinion about scammers. I'm not suddenly going to tell you it's okay. And in response to I do not wish to speak with you on the phone, he says, sorry for everything, but I don't mean to hurt anyone, just to survive and keep life going. I said, what you do hurts real people, innocent old ladies. Imagine if your mother was scammed. And in response to I'm a cop, I'm not speaking with on the phone so you can record it and use the recording, he says, I can't do that anymore with you. Because, like I said, I want to be your friend, honestly. I said, well, that's bad news for you then, isn't it? Shame you didn't approach me honestly with your own profile right at the start. I will never believe you now. You blew it. And in response to him, what am I meant to do with this information? It won't change my opinion. He goes, I'm talking for myself, not anyone. Life has changed, okay? Trust me here. I wish you can't just give me the room to be your best friend. I said, I have a best friend. And in response to I'm not suddenly going to tell you it's okay to scam, he sends sad emojis and a couple of side-eye smirks. I said, an honest, decent friend. I don't need friends like you. And in response to imagine if your mother was scammed, he goes, I understand that feeling and frustration, said my scammer who had no idea. I said, you'd always find a way to get money from me, or try to, because you wouldn't succeed. Do the Nigerian police care about scammers? The 419 law? And in response to it being bad news for him and shame he didn't approach me with his own profile, he says, I do, but you did accept my request or even respond to my messages because I thought you are one of those who don't like blacks or practices racism. And he didn't approach me. I did not have anyone from Nigeria sending me friend requests. And I wouldn't accept even if he did, because I would still think he was scamming. So any scammers listening, this is what you guys have done to all honest, innocent Nigerian people. And in response to apparently me not liking blacks or practicing racism, I said, you scam white people, you're racist. And in response to I will never believe you now, he goes, I know because of everything, but I promise you that you will definitely like me once you give me room to prove myself. To which I said, I don't accept any friend requests from people I don't know. And in response to you blew it, apologies. I said, I knew you were fake. That's why I responded. I baited you. And in response to I don't need friends like you, he goes, I can be one. Trust me, you will get to know me more. To which I went, trust me, the words you all use to lie and deceive, not interested. And in response to you'd always find a way to get money from me, he goes, no, my dear, I just is true relationships and good life with you. I'm sure he does. And in response to do the Nigerian police care about scammers, he says, yes. I said, that's bullshit. You've no doubt got a girlfriend and kids over there already. And in response to yes, the Nigerian police do care about scammers, I said, good. And in response to you scam white people, you're racist, he goes, I love white, am not racist. I said, then don't call me one. Australia is full of every culture in the world. And in response to me not accepting friend requests from people I don't know, he goes, I know that because I'm not white. He tries again. I said, again with that bullshit, you're pathetic. You use that as an excuse and it's pathetic. I'm full of contempt for you. You don't know me or who I have in my life and you make that assumption. Question mark, question mark. And in response to not interested, he says, not anymore. I'm beginning to like you and I love you. To give me time to make it up to you, please. I said, no, you aren't. This is just another stage of the scam. What part of me being a cop don't you understand? I've been in cybercrime. You aren't my first scammer. And in response to that's bullshit, you've no doubt got a girlfriend and kids over there, he goes, if I tell you that I don't have anyone, you will not believe me. All ladies here are after money and fame, not true love. I said, how do you know this isn't a sting op? We'd cross-posted. And in response to then don't call me one, as in racist, he goes, ain't calling one, dear. And in response to, if I tell you that I don't have anyone, you won't believe me anyway. I said, that's bullshit also. You lie online and then get mad because ladies don't want you. I bet you do celebrity scams also and crypto. Go to bed and get a job. Stop scamming. And in response to, you don't know me or who I have in my life, not assuming anything about you. All I'm asking you is for you to allow me to prove myself to you, and so you will know that I have changed. Just in 2 hours, guys. I just want to be your best friend forever. I said, I don't want you for a friend. You're a thief and a liar. And in response to, oh no, you aren't, this is just another stage of the scam, he goes, remember they said, police is your friend. I said, I don't associate with criminals. And when you're in trouble, go ahead and call the Nigerian police. They'll help you. And in response to, I've been in cybercrime, you aren't my first scammer, he said, am not so that with you, my dear. I said, shaking my head, your desperation is showing. And in response to, how do you know this isn't a sting operation? It is not, he said. Believe me, and for real, am real for you. Completely misunderstanding sting operation. I said, just for me, huh? I said, not for anyone else. You're disgusting. And in response to, that's bullshit also, you lie online and then get mad because ladies don't want you, he goes, I don't get mad. It is not a do or die affair. I said, so why steal if it is a do or die? And in response to, I bet you do celebrity scams also. Not that, my dear, he said. I said, please don't call me dear, it gives me the ick. And in response to, go to bed and get a job and stop scamming, he said, that is why I want to work with you, so you can teach me more. Another part of the scam again, guys. I said, no, I'm not teaching you shit, and you'll never be with me. Sorry, I couldn't see that for a second. I said, go away. And in response to, I don't want you for a friend, he goes, so you don't believe when someone say they had changed? Said my incredulous scammer, who apparently did a complete 180 on his complete personality in 2 hours. I said, nope, not in an hour. You've said nothing to make me believe you. It's words, nonsense words. The only thing you haven't tried is telling me you have a child who wants a mother. No problem then, since you can't believe me, said my scammer. I said, exactly. At which point he just went away. So obviously he didn't want to be my long-lost friend. But I thought, because I think he might be back, I said, light dawns on Marblehead, but I haven't seen him. So there you go. That was Ferguson Stephen from Michigan State reacting to me being a cop. Never done that one before. So there you go. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Another video coming soon. Talk to you guys later. Bye.